Hi, Adam Mills here, and welcome to our Facebook and Instagram Live series, Divorce Isn't a Bad Word, Navigating Uncoupling. Over the last year and a half or so, my team and I have seen how much of a toll COVID has played on people's relationships, and so I set out to speak with 6 different industry experts on topics that surround divorce. Today's episode is Resilience and Rebuilding, Modern Girl's Guide to Divorce, and I'm thrilled to have Katrina Turnbull here with me, and here's a little bit more about Katrina. So with over 15 million views on Instagram and TikTok, Katrina Turnbull is known for her striking viral videos and sense of humor showing the brighter side of divorce as a single mom. The host and producer of 5 television series, including Bell Media's latest hit, Modern Girl's Guide to Divorce, Katrina shares her tips on CBC, CTV, and breakfast television. Katrina wants to help others going through divorce to not have the same soul-crushing experience that she had. So Katrina, again, thank you so much for being here. I know I've been following you on Instagram for a little while, and I have to say, I'm sure you hear it all the time, but I mean, the stories and the posts and the things you put through, I mean, it's not only real life educational stuff, but it always brings a smile to my face, and I absolutely love it. So thank you for that.
That's good. Thank you, Adam. I'm really thrilled to be here and chat with you and your audience and have my audience lean in on this as well.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So, I mean, the first thing, I mean, and I know you probably talked about this a few different times, but I'd love to hear, from your perspective, how was your divorce you went through? I mean, from talking with you before, I mean, it started in 2016 and kind of like went to 2020-ish. So yeah, if you just kind of walk us through that experience and what happened.
Yeah, so I was definitely one of these people who thought I'd be married for life. I never ever thought that I'd kind of get divorced, but I definitely reached a point towards the end of 2020, the end of 2016, where I just realized it really wasn't working and I need to make a change for not only just myself, but also for my children so they could have a mother who is happy and present and fulfilled and motivated, and then be able to kind of go after my dreams and live my life and not just be, somebody's housewife.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that would be like, I guess to come to that, like that pinnacle of that decision, like that's not an overnight thing. Like that must be something that like builds inside of you and that you're just going back and forth on for, I can only imagine, for a while.
Yeah, like you definitely have to try to, give it a chance. And with a lot of the work that I do and the TV show that I did on divorce that you mentioned, Modern Girl's Guide to Divorce, a lot of kind of the criticism I get is like, you're glorifying divorce, or like, you're not, you're telling people to get divorced. My show's not about, encouraging people to get divorced. It's really to provide a platform for the people who have got to the point where they realize their marriage is no longer working. What is the business decision then to do? Just like learning to do your taxes or your corporate accounting, divorce is definitely a very structured process. And so, I really did give it my best. I tried my best, but I knew in my heart that ending that marriage and moving forward on my own, even though it was terrifying, it was the best foot forward. And I knew that if I could just walk through that door, I could have a second chance at life, which I did. And I've gone full tilt and tried to make the most of that second chance, because not everybody gets one.
Yeah. I mean, and it's such I can only imagine like a courageous thing, especially with kids too. Cause I mean, you're making this decision. You're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for them as well. And to, like you say, to step through that door, like I can imagine like that must be very emotionally draining and also just frightening. I guess like the anxiety or like the fear of getting through that door, I can only imagine was pretty high.
Yeah, but nothing really motivates you to succeed, Adam, like the fear of bankruptcy and having no safety net and failing. Like I really feel that like I said, divorce is not something that I had planned in my future, definitely not when I became a mom and I had 2 little boys. But I definitely knew that now looking back, I see that it taught me lessons in my life that I never knew I needed to learn. It taught me how to be independent, how to be resilient. It taught me not to care what other people think, like outside influences and opinions didn't matter because they weren't helping me in my life to move forward with my goals or helping to contribute in any kind of way. And it made me a lot more resilient and a lot stronger. And that's benefited me in my life in so many ways. And also just a very healthy outlook on now knowing like what a healthy relationship should be, and knowing that putting a lot of self-care into myself as a mother, a lot of mothers have related to me on this point, is that like you cannot give up your complete identity to be a wife and to be a mom. Like I'm still Katrina at the end of the day. And if I'm not, filling myself emotionally, spiritually, physically, and being a healthy person, I won't be able to give that nurturing to my kids, to my business, and everybody around me.
That's amazing. It's such an amazing point of view and an amazing outlook. So tell me, so when you were going through like that, that divorce time, I guess in the 2016, 2017 time, like what was it like with the people around you? Like, like neighbors, whatever, friends, colleagues, whatever you want to say, like what was that like? Were people like supportive and like, high-fiving, like happy for you? Or like how did it feel?
No, no, they were not. So I had kind of like the on paper perfect life. We had bought a dream house in Westboro, renovated it. It was like everything was designed to the nines, exactly how we wanted it to. It was a gorgeous 4-floor, 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in Westboro. Absolute gorgeous, what I thought was going to be our forever home. And, very envious, I think, of like, the lifestyle that we had from a lot of our friends and neighbors. And then when I said, you know what, it's not working, we're going to move out of that. The biggest shock for me was how quickly people kind of dropped me. Like it was all good when we were being invited for like couples dinner parties and cocktail hours and stuff like that. But then really quickly, those same people, stopped inviting me. I've mentioned before that like I'd see them on the street of our neighborhood, and I'd be walking down the street, just, say hello in passing. They would see me and they would cross over, and like they didn't want to talk to me. And then I get a lot of the sympathy look. So I'd like run into people at events or the grocery store, and they knew that I was getting divorced and saw the house was up for sale. And I'd be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And they'd be like, oh, hi, Katrina. Oh, hi.
Oh, no,
like, and I just got so frustrated because
fake.
I don't know. I know very few friends and acquaintances who have good marriages. I have a way more exponential percentage of married couple friends around me who are settling in their marriage. It's dysfunctional. It's not going well, but for financial reasons, fear of going it alone, or maybe for familial children kind of reasons, they're not leaving that marriage for anything, even though it's not a healthy situation. So for me, I was like, I'm being an adult and I'm making that decision to end an unhealthy situation that's not serving me anymore, and walking away. And rather than people recognizing that I was making the right choice, they saw it as a sense of failure for me. And that's what really motivated me in the early days to kind of do all of this and be really successful, and then finally start talking about the divorce, was that in the early days of my divorce, by friends and family, I was called a loser. I was called a failure. I was told that I was selfish, that my happiness wasn't a good enough reason to break up my family. How could I do that to my children? And I used to work day and night in the early years of, working in television and doing a lot of the social media promotion for single moms and about being divorced. I'd be at my laptop in the middle of the night thinking about all the really just like degrading things that people had said to me. And I'd be crying and I'd be like, I'm going to show them, I'm going to be successful. And, to be honest, I question it sometimes. Like, had I not had such a negative experience it wasn't how I felt about divorce. It was how society was viewing divorce as like the scarlet letter D across my chest and such a stigma surrounding it. Would I have pushed myself so hard to prove that you can be successful and that it's okay to talk about your divorce? And I think, as you mentioned, 15 million views in 2 years on videos that are just dedicated to divorce and to being a single mom, and a hit TV show with Bell Media just about divorce, I think really proves that there are people who want to talk about divorce and talk about it as a positive step forward, not a sense of failure.
That's right. Yeah, I 100% agree. And I don't think it should not be. I mean, maybe it still is, but should not be a stigmatized thing. It's not a failure. I think you quote, it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of your marriage. And I
Hmm.
think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Adele in her video with Oprah might have stole your line and used that. I know. Yeah, you might want to talk to her about that.
I know.
Um,
I'm waiting to listen to the whole Adele divorce album. I need to block off like an entire evening where I can drink wine and cry and listen to it.
100%.
Um, but yeah, I'm really interested in her journey as well.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, and I heard an interview with her too, and she was saying how you like to really appreciate that album, you have to like listen to it in order start to finish. You can't jump around because it's
Perfect.
a story that kind of evolves throughout the album. So I mean, I haven't done it yet either, but yeah, no, it's on my list of things to try and get to for sure.
Okay, good. Good stuff.
So one question I had so I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've talked to in the past, with the last couple of lawyers and mediators have all been collaborative style, or mediation style divorces or separations. Now, from my chat with you, it seems like yours was not in that vein of collaborative; it was more of an adversarial, which, from what I gather and what I've heard, has typically a higher cost and just takes longer to kind of navigate through.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add to that, and any advice maybe you have for people, if they can avoid that path, maybe if possible.
Yeah, I hear about this collaborative divorce approach, and it was something that we did talk about the first episode of my TV show. We had a divorce attorney from Toronto, Chantel Suizian of KMS Legal, and we were basically talking about how do you save time and money on lawyers. And we filmed really during COVID, and it was a time where there was a huge backlog in the family court system, and that if you were able to put emotions to the side, you were able to put revenge and vengeance and making someone pay for different decisions during the divorce process aside. It's where the two parties come, and you basically, it's very cut and dry, no emotions to it. You lay out all the assets, you divide it equally, and then you move on. And the whole spirit is to not have to go in front of a judge, because at the time there was like a year and a half wait to get into court. And even it was like courts were closed and they hadn't done stuff virtually yet. For me, that was not my situation. I'm very honest. The fact that I was very, very fair in my approach to divorce. I think for me, I was a little bit too naive. I went in just saying, let's split everything 50-50, walk away. I thought like my marriage ended towards the end of 2016. Date of separation was officially February 2017. Me and my friends, a couple months in, were like, we'll be having the divorce party by 2018, a year after the date of separation. And then it was like 2018 comes. Okay, no, the divorce party will be in 2019. Okay, maybe the divorce party will be in 2020. And it just kept getting dragged on. And I think, I can't speak for anyone else, but it seemed very motivated by like a punishment, and about like, you've decided to leave this marriage, therefore you're going to pay financially, and this is going to be really hard on you. I think the strategy against me was to exhaust me financially and emotionally, and then basically give me some like low ball offer. Towards the end of it, Adam, I felt like I was like Mel Gibson from Braveheart. I was just like fighting for my freedom. I
Yeah.
remember telling people I was like a couple months away from signing the documents and finishing it and having court motions. I was like, if I get zero in this process, that is fine with me, because I need this to end. I need this to walk away. And I probably put in 7 or 8 offers to settle, and every single one of them were rejected. So you just kind of keep going down the list for that. I think had I had done things differently, and if people can do a collaborative divorce approach, amazing. You'll save a lot of money. Usually, my experience from doing my TV show, talking with my experts, and just the whole community of people that I have going through divorce, is that one party is initiating the divorce and the other party is bitter about that. So if that's the situation you're in and it is very adversarial, I say protect yourself. One of the best tips that I have that really dragged out the divorce process was the financial disclosure part of the divorce process, where the other side has to provide, tax returns, bank statements, credit cards. So to kind of preemptively get around that, before you even want to announce your intent to divorce, I would go make photocopies of your and your spouse's last 3 years of bank statements, credit card statements, tax returns, investments. So you're not waiting on the other side to have that. So you have all the information, and then you can start doing, calculating equalization payments, support payments if that applies to you, because that's something that can stall on for months, and you keep requesting it, and then responding to letters of why it's not ready yet. That's just thousands of dollars in legal bills.
Yeah, every time a lawyer writes a letter, it costs a lot of money. And a lot of time, gaps between one letter to a lawyer and the other letter saying, other lawyer may be responding by letter. I mean, you can have months go by between letters. So, yeah, no, that's very good advice. To switch gears into something that's like uplifting, like feel good, so you have bought yourself a home now. So, like 4 years from divorce, you've like basically picked yourself up, rebuilt yourself. And now you're into home ownership, which you did it in the hardest market the Ottawa market's ever seen. So, I mean, like, hats off to you to actually get through all that too. So tell us maybe a bit about that.
I thank you, Adam. It really means a lot to me. That was probably one of my proudest moments as a single mother and as a person who's, been through and survived divorce, was to, on my own, buy a home for me and my children. It's something that I didn't think was going to happen. And then also, going through my process, I spent just on the lawyers alone, and to get divorced, $150,000 of my money, which was part
obscene.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's the reason why I can say that so easily, is because that's actually not one of the worst things that happened during my divorce. So I can make peace with that, knowing that there has been worse.
Yeah.
But that was part of the equity out of my marital home that I was like holding on to, and then it got whittled away. And when that was gone, I was like, there's just no chance that I'm going to, be able to have a down payment or equity like that to, put towards my own home. I had moved into a condo in my same neighborhood, and it was a beautiful condo. It's a 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, same neighborhood that I was in before. It was really familiar for me and my kids. And I was renting that for 4 years. And then in 2021, I decided, okay, we've already been through lockdown in this condo with my children. They're boys, they're getting bigger. I started to need to look at them having more space, more green space to run around, a backyard, just no one wants to go on the balcony for fresh air. And, it's not like you can just put your kids in the backyard and kind of continue doing the dishes or something. So I started to kind of expand my search and thought, okay, I love my Westboro neighborhood, but I can't afford to get a house here on my own. And I started looking in places like Barrhaven. And no offense to Barrhaven, but it's like 45 minutes from my kids' school.
Yeah.
And I was in January 2021, I was looking at like semis and very small houses or bungalows there that were like listed for $500,000-$600,000, and then at the time they'd be going for like $750,000-$800,000 with 9 offers on them. And I was like, I can't even move to Barrhaven. I said, like, this, like, the market went crazy, as you know, as a real estate agent. And even though in January of 2021 I had put it on my vision board that I was going to be a homeowner, once I kind of like saw that, like, I couldn't afford to buy in faraway neighborhoods that you thought were once affordable, there's no way I'm going to be able to buy in my Westboro neighborhood. So then in August of 2021, I was approached by the owner of my condo. They said that they were going to sell it. And I asked them, I said, let's do an off-market deal. And that is the only way that I was able to get this home and afford it. And, I had to apply for a mortgage and provide all my details and everything like that. And without that kind of like act of kindness or just act of trust or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? There's other factors like, no commission, no showings. It's me in there. They knew I might have played up the single mom card a little bit.
Yeah.
I was able to just buy something for myself, get on the property ladder. And yes, it still doesn't, no, it doesn't have a backyard, but I didn't have to move. It's the same neighborhood that we had. During the pandemic, I had to move my office into my living. This is actually what my dining room used to be. It's where my desk is now. I
Right.
sold my dining room table and I moved my second child, who was sharing a room with his brother, into my office to have more space. And so I'm sure you've seen it too. A lot of people are becoming more adaptable with the space they're in because it was so difficult to buy anything affordable. Like, yeah, you can sell your house, but then what were you affording in 2021 when the market was just bananas?
100%. I mean, people were like you're saying, so like living rooms and dining rooms no longer had a purpose because you weren't having people over anyway. So they were useless rooms. So now people turned those rooms into offices. Most people wanted a 2 or 3 bedroom, 2 office house. Like that's what they wanted. You didn't need a living room, didn't need a dining room. It was very like it was interesting. Like people, we would on an onboarding, call with a buyer, get a sense of like, hey, what are your needs and wants? And
Mm-hmm.
we have a check. We were very system oriented, so we have checklists for everything. But our checklist going into the pandemic did not apply anymore because we didn't have like a checkbox for a second office. That was never a requirement. So we had to
Mm-hmm.
rejig what we were doing and what questions we were asking to get a sense of what people were looking for, just adapting to what the market really was. So yeah.
That's it, being adaptable, you know what I mean? And when we talked about on the show, one of our episodes was selling your marital home for the most money possible, and then what you could afford as a newly divorced solo buyer. One of the biggest takeaways from that was really just adjusting your expectations. So maybe when you get divorced, maybe you had a huge single family home like I did in a great neighborhood, but then getting divorced, okay, maybe it's going to be, like a semi. Maybe you have to change your neighborhood. Maybe you have to get something with a rental income, a rental property to supplement your income. And I think, those are minor things. I think, you can really make do and adapt. And it's just like, one of the things I learned through my divorce was that these are material things. It's okay to let go of it. You need to kind of let go of things in order to grow and move forward. And like I said, even I'm not sad that I don't have that big, huge, beautiful house anymore that I decorated head to toe. I am much happier in my condo, doing my own thing, affording absolutely everything on my own. I'm not trying to be like a man hater, no man, as a safety net.
Yeah.
But it's not that common that, like, women typically earn less than men, and I have to work really, really hard, and I couldn't be prouder of myself. My kids, when I told them that I bought this on my own, the reaction that they had, they were so genuinely proud of me. And then I did a video
So
on it,
awesome.
which it was so good. And a video that I did on me, the shock and surprise of selling or buying this condo and buying my home for myself after 4 years of grinding to afford it. A lot of other people chimed in saying it took me 4 years, 10 years, 15 years. Some people said I'm 1 year, 3 years, 5 years into the divorce process. You're giving me hope that I'm going to get back there. And I think if you just keep working hard and you ignore everything around you that does not serve your purpose. My purpose was to work, make money, and afford this home on my own. And I silenced anything around me that didn't serve that purpose. And that was really important to me.
That's amazing. No, it's so important. Set goals. I mean, stay focused on it. And yeah, if there's any, background noise or people that are bringing you down, I mean, cut them out. There's no need for it in life. There's too much negativity out there. Just focus on the positive, focus on achieving your goals and keep kind of hammering and moving forward. So no, 100%. Like I think that's an amazing message for people to hear. And yeah, people who might be in the beginning stages, year one of this potentially, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, as long as, I mean, it's probably not an easy path to move through, but keep your head down, keep going, stay positive, and you'll get there. And
I
it's so awesome that you have your own house now. It's wicked.
Thank you. I think one thing that, if someone is starting off and like maybe the divorce just wrapped up or they're in the separation process, that took me maybe a few years to realize is that, Adam, nobody is coming to save you in your divorce. Like I've said this, there is no, divorce settlement that's going to make your life better. There's no new boyfriend, new girlfriend who's going to make life better for you. No one is actually coming to help you. So once you get around that like poor me mentality, Sit down and say to yourself, this is my life. It's not a dress rehearsal. What do I need to do to achieve my goals? And then you have to write them down and then figure out ways to make your goals happen and just keep working at it. And I think, like, you're talking about positivity and like silencing out that negative energy around you. I had many years early in the divorce where I was just like, didn't want to get out of bed, wasn't motivated to work, just like I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe I'm in court. I can't believe I'm losing all this money. And it was so negative. And one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm tired of feeling terrible and anxious every day. What am I going to do? So now what I do, I find that having a solid routine is really helpful for me. So I get up in the morning. I have like an hour where I'm just very, very quiet. I'm drinking a cup of tea. I like to play online euchre a lot, and I find that calms me. And so I start my day with my routine and then get up. Physical activity is the number one thing that I have to do. Like, people say, oh, I'm not feeling well, I'm tired, I'm stressed on my divorce. I don't care. I'm not the person to come to if you had excuses. I felt like crap too going through my divorce. You can still work out. You need to really push yourself and dig deep and show yourself that love and that care that you maybe used to be putting into a failing marriage that was taking so much energy. You need to put that into yourself and start loving yourself the way that you might have used to love your husband or used to love your wife. And it gets easier and it gets better, but like, you got to stop with the excuses and just realize, like, this is your only life. And if you're wasting time feeling sorry for yourself because of your divorce or because someone's, being mean to you or, trying to take you to the cleaners with the divorce court, you just got to realize, like, you're still responsible for the choices that you make, and you're still responsible about how you can let yourself feel.
100%. And I think too, like, if you are in that situation where you don't want to move, you don't want to get up and you're feeling, you're having a crappy day, sometimes, just digging deep and giving yourself a kick in the butt and getting out and doing something physical, it allows, like, physical activity, just like from a pure, like, scientific perspective, gives people like that mental reset. No matter what your state of mind you're in, you breathe in the good, you breathe out the bad. I mean, that's just what moving around is all about. So, I mean, for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're going for a walk, riding a bike, doing some push-ups, whatever it is you choose to do, but it's just getting your heart moving, getting your breath going. It will energize you and help you get rid of whatever kind of, bad stuff's going around in your mind or your body. So it's massive. It's such a massive, massive piece. It's to just move.
Yeah.
So I think having that routine is wicked.
Yeah. And then the next day you feel a little bit better, and then that propels you and you're like, okay, I'm going to, declutter the house. I'm going to wash the floors. I'm going to do work. I'm going to, do this, like, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, but definitely has to be a part of a routine. I think a lot of physical activity is really important in that. Cutting on the alcohol during the divorce, I know, like, it's something people want to lean to, but at the end of the day, you really got to think about, what if I need to achieve my goals and I'm on my own now, how do I set myself up for success to do that? And for me, it's good sleep, good food, positivity, being productive, exercise, and, showing love to the people around me who deserve it.
That's amazing. Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this Instagram live with us. It's been amazing chatting with you. Like I mentioned, I mean, the stuff that you're putting through on your Instagram, your posts, your stories, I mean, they are real. They are educational, but they have such an amazingly positive kind of comedic spin to them, which, as I said, like, it brings a smile. Maybe it's like I caught myself in the office looking at one laughing, and people are looking at me like, why is this guy laughing, in the corner of the office? But there's a lot of good stuff that you're pushing through. So yeah, no, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And that's the whole point, Adam, is that, like, divorce is awful enough as it is. I kind of just want to, make people smile about, like, the funny side, the lighter side of divorce. So I appreciate that you're enjoying the content, and, like, so many other people are.
That's amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.